This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're taking a look at the Matador GlobeRider35, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. Let's dive in. So the primary material that we're working with here is 420D blue sign approved recycled nylon. So there are a few different varieties of that floating around here, and we'll get into a few of those as well. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the materials. They are sustainably sourced. They've held up very well, so durability is not a big issue. And they're also have a PU coating, so that means you're gonna be pretty good in the rain. So the zippers also have PU coated tracks as well. So this thing does very well in rain, snow, pretty much anything you're gonna throw at it. I wouldn't wanna be outside in the downpour for like an hour or something like that, but just for like general use, if you get caught in the rain, it's not gonna seep in super quickly. So overall, very happy with the YKK zippers and the material. So there are a couple different kinds of hardware on this bag. As you can see, we have a pretty ample harness system here, which I will get into, but they are from Woojin and UTX. So everything works as you'd expect it to. We kind of have, these remind me of like little lobster claws there on the buckles. Very easy to pop open and close. They don't pop open when you don't want them to. Just overall, it works as you'd expect it to, and that's really all you can ask for from hardware. So we've got handles all over this backpack. We've got 4 handles here on the front side, and these ones have a little bit of padding. It's basically like a folded over material, it kind of feels like. I don't know if it's actually folded over. You can see the kind of the crease there. I'm not sure how they made it. I don't know why I'm going at a tangent about that, but pretty comfortable, easy to grab onto. So no matter where you've got the bag at, you can kind of just grab it pretty easily and go. But there are 2 more handles, not just these 4. We've got one on the top here, which is, you know, pretty standard for a backpack on the top to grab it and go if you've got it standing up. As you can see, this backpack is standing up without me holding or anything like that, which is a handy feature. If you do load more gear up in the top, I think it probably would tumble over, but I have not had an issue with that. And then we have a side handle on this side as well. So you can pretty much get this bag from any angle that you have it at. And we also have a luggage pass-through on the back panel, which you can use kind of as a handle as well, but obviously it is for, you know, stowing your luggage. So you really can just grab this at any angle and just get to going wherever you're going. On the side here, we have a large water bottle pocket. As you can see, I have a very large bottle stowed inside here right now. There is a clip at the top, so there are 4 compression straps, which I will get into, and that's just a nice way to ensure that your bottle doesn't go anywhere. I also stowed a travel tripod in here and kind of looped this through the legs of the travel tripod to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. As you can see, this is a very large bottle. See if it says here on the bottom, 32 ounces, no problem. I also fit my 40-ounce non-insulated bottle in there without an issue as well. A little tab up here to make sure you can get gear out of there pretty easily. So you can see we have these big beefy compression straps on the bottom and just standard ones on the top, which are handy for securing gear and also just making this pack a little bit smaller to make sure it fits in the sizer. So as I said in the written review, this does feel like a little bit overkill for a 35-liter backpack. This harness system is very capable and is very comfortable, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. If you like something that's super minimal, maybe this is not for you, but I really do appreciate how comfortable this bag is at 35 liters. So when you look at the back panel here, you can see we've got quite a bit of padding. It's pretty dense padding as well, and you can see we have mesh as well, which keeps things cool. It did a surprisingly good job at keeping things cool. I even went for a bike ride with this, and it's now March in Michigan, and you know, you never know what kind of weather you're gonna get. We got some 60+ degree weather, at least it felt like that the other day, so I went for a bike ride with this, and it did pretty well, stayed pretty cool, both on the back panel and the shoulder straps here. So the shoulder straps also have pretty dense foam and also that same aeration mesh. The hip belt here has the same mesh, but it did feel a little bit warmer than I was expecting it to. This is really the only area that felt warmer than I thought it was going to. It's very comfortable. It's all very comfortable, but this part here just felt a little bit warm. So we do have a sternum strap here. It's on a bit of a rail, so you can make those micro adjustments to get it exactly where you want. As you can see, I'm kind of struggling with getting it where I want it to be, which I think is a good thing. Is you get it where you want it and it's gonna stay there and it's not gonna get jostled up in transit. Have a strap keeper here on the sternum strap as well. So you can stow the both the hip belt and the shoulder straps here. So the shoulder straps will stow underneath here, and then you can also stow these under through the back panel here as well. So I'm not going to show you how to do that because it'll just be kind of a waste of time, but I really find that's helpful for if you are going to be using this luggage pass-through for an extended period of time. You get rid of those to make it just easier for you to use that, and it's just not as much flailing around and less things to get caught as well when you're in transit. If you're finding this video helpful, make sure you throw a like on the video, drop a comment down below to let me know what you think of this backpack, and subscribe to the channel so we can continue making content like this to help you travel smarter. So as you can see, I have it on right now. I have the whole thing on from hip belt, sternum strap, everything. And just something to keep in mind when you're wearing a hip belt like this, it's going to kind of make you look like you're wearing like a little dress if you have a larger shirt on. So just keep that in mind. Whenever I wear them, I always feel like I'm a knight or something like that. But this is a very big bag for 35 liters. Not that it's that much bigger than other bags. It just kind of rides a little bit lower than some other 35-liter bags that I have worn. So if you do have a shorter frame size, it might go even lower on you, so just keep that in mind. But as I've mentioned, this bag is very comfortable for me personally. I find that the shoulder straps really just sit nicely on my body, and the sternum strap is nice to be able to bring them a little bit closer together. Sorry if I hit the mic there, but overall just a very comfortable experience. But again, I'm just over 6 foot. If you're a little bit shorter, you may find that it just rides a little bit lower than you were expecting. But even when you're doing something that's more active, you can really kind of tighten this up. Obviously, you have the 2 tightening areas on the hip belt here, so you can kind of tighten it from both sides. So the buckle's right here in the middle, and you can just have everything sit exactly where you want it. Again, because this is such a tall backpack, if you put too much gear near the top, if you have like a bunch of tech or something like that, it ends up near the top, it can kind of feel top heavy and just not exactly the most optimized for walking around all day. But as long as you pack smart and kind of keep your tech towards the middle or the bottom, it's going to stay comfortable and you're going to be able to wear this all day without much issue. So if you noticed on the water bottle pocket on the side, this is a nice stretchy mesh material. We have that same material on the front here for a just kind of a quick access pocket. So I really like this because if you're traveling somewhere and you have something that's kind of wet, but you need to leave your hotel to go to the airport or something like that, you could stow a towel, a swimsuit or something inside of there, so it's not in with the rest of your gear, and it's going to stay protected because of the PU coating on the materials here. But I've just got my winter hat still in there right now because it's March in Michigan and it's not 60 degrees today, it's like 25 or something like that, so nice to have quick access to that. And then my modal infinity tool, which I just like to keep with me because you never know when you're going to need to use it. We have a full review of that if you want to check that out. But pretty big pocket, comes all the way down to here, so you could stow pretty large items in there as well if you wanted to. So just above that, one thing I should mention before we get into these pockets is all of the zippers have these little loops on the end here. Bring it a little closer so you can see it. And that's helpful for holding onto when you're opening the compartments, but also you can stick the zipper heads through there, so that way if someone was going to try and open your bag, they would have to fish it through there and get it out, which is not super quick to do, and just kind of deters someone from getting in your bag. If they want to get in your bag, they're going to, but it will definitely slow someone down, and you'll probably feel them while they're doing it if they were to be doing that. So this pocket here has a nice little fold down top part like that. So we have quite a bit of the bag's overall organization is in this pocket, so you could use this as your tech pouch if you wanted to, so long as you're not bringing a ton of tech. And this compartment actually goes all the way down to here, so I was able to bring my over-ear headphones here, but I wouldn't do that if there wasn't a case because they're just not a ton of padding here. So in theory, something could kind of get hit here and you wouldn't want your headphones to break, especially if the bag were to fall down like this or something like that, which is very possible, though it does stand up as I showed you. So I've just got my phone stowed in there and my wallet as well to keep my pockets free. As you can see, we have that similar kind of mesh material here, so it does kind of hold on to whatever you stow in there as long as it's big enough to kind of engage that mesh. And then over here we have 4 little pockets for pens, stylus, pencils, whatever you want to stow inside of there. And then we have these 2 zipper compartments up here. So this is a good place to stow, like if you wanted your wallet to be a little bit more secure, you would stow this inside of here, because if someone were to try to get to it, it's a zipper instead of a zipper, and who's to say they would even know where your wallet was. So I do like the inclusion of these zippered areas because the main compartment especially is a very big open area, and there aren't a ton of secondary compartments, so it's nice to be able to lock some things down in the few pockets that this bag does have. So on the top here, we have another secondary compartment. As you can see, the zipper's a little bit hidden, which I do like. I think it just looks a little bit nicer, a little bit sleeker. So I just have a flashlight that my mom got me stowed inside of there right now, but it does have a soft material, a soft lining material, so it's a good place to stow your phone, sunglasses, or something like that, things you don't want to get scratched, because it does have that soft liner material. But there isn't a ton of padding on this top side here, so just keep that in mind. Obviously, there's not a great chance things are going to be hitting your backpack from the top, but you never know what might happen, and I'm a very paranoid person, so figured I would bring that up. So the laptop compartment, let me set this down here, is accessible technically in 3 ways, but realistically in 2 ways. So we have this pocket here that runs down the back panel. So this is the most direct way probably to get to your laptop, is just through here. You have access to the laptop compartment here, but you don't have access really to anything else. At the top here, you can kind of get into the main compartment a little bit, but that's not really a realistic way to try and get into the laptop compartment. I have a 15-inch MacBook Pro, fits in there with no problem. Didn't have any issues with it breaking or anything like that. Obviously, otherwise I probably would have started with that. But the other way you can get into the laptop compartment is there is a secondary way to get into the main compartment, which is through this monumentally large YKK zipper here. And then this is access to the top of the main compartment, but also you have access to the laptop here. So I found myself using this one most often just because, I don't know, it's how I like to get into a laptop compartment. But you can very easily, and it might even be quicker, to go through this side access here. And then I'm going to show you the other way that you can technically get to it, although it does not work very well. So I have the main compartment zipper locked right now, so you can kind of see how that works. As you can see, I have the second zipper here through this. So if you were to try to open it, it doesn't come as easily as it normally would. So you kind of just have to feed that through there. It takes a little bit of time. You also have to know that you need to do that. But the main compartment lid kind of comes all the way around like this. It's almost like a suitcase or like a big duffel bag or something like that. So you really can get into the nitty-gritty of organization because you can see everything that's stowed inside of here. So obviously we have the main gear storage area over here with no organization, and then we have the lid storage area, which has not a ton of organization, but enough for me. So a good area for socks and underwear down here, maybe other small clothing items, and then whatever you want to stow up here are some smaller items. So there is a bit of padding underneath these pockets, not so much down here because there is a little bit of a barrier between these 2 pockets. So one thing to note is that if you have a bunch of stuff in either of these areas, they're going to kind of push into each other and just share space a little bit. So keep that in mind if you're planning on using a ton of the organizational features in this bag and not doing a ton of the organization yourself in this area over here. It just kind of eats at each other a little bit and can kind of bulge up here at the top. So just think about that as you are packing. But I really do like the design of this bag because I'm someone who likes to do the big organizing myself, and then just do some of the smaller organization like my phone, wallet, maybe some of my tech, headphones, and maybe if I need to bring any maps or anything like that to put them in the bag organization. But I like doing the bulk of the stuff myself. So I have my camera cube inside of here, tech pouch and toiletry pouch, and then neck pillow that I've been testing, and a packing cube. So I did most of the organization over here myself, and then I would do the smaller stuff over here in these zippered compartments, and also the little admin panel in this pocket up here. So we do have a frame sheet, but it is behind the laptop compartment here. So that's going to be back between these 2 here, which adds some structure to the carry and also gives you a little bit of extra laptop protection. But as I mentioned, you can't really access if you really try to, you can like fold this down like that and then access the laptop compartment. But when you have gear in here, you're probably not going to want to do that. So effectively, you have 2 ways to access the laptop, either through the top portion here or the side one that I mentioned earlier. And just to give you an idea of how that top compartment works into the main compartment, it is a good way to access the gear you have stowed on the top of the main compartment. So when you open this up like this, you can kind of get to the gear that's stuffed on top of here. But if you were to try to get to the stuff that's on the bottom, you really have to like stick your arm down in there, which isn't ideal. You could do it, and as you can see, we have a little bit of a gusset right here as well to kind of slow things down. So 2 access points to the main compartment. I prefer using the large one right here just because you really get into the nitty-gritty of the organization of your pack because you can just see everything. But if you need to grab something quickly and go, like I've had when I didn't have my big pair of headphones stowed up here, I could just set them on the top of here and then I can grab them, grab my laptop as well because I'm just accessing this compartment, and then I'm ready to go because I have my laptop and I have my headphones. You could also stow like your laptop charger up here. So I think there's a helicopter going by right now. Sorry if you can hear that. But overall, as I mentioned, I really do like the organization here. It's doing the small stuff for me, and then the big stuff that I kind of like to be in charge of, I am just going to do that over here in this compartment. The getting used to the laptop configuration did take me a little while, but I never had any issues with like my laptop falling out or me feeling like it was unsafe. It's also raised here, as you can see on the bottom here. Your laptop is not in this space here, so it's not going to, when it sits down, not going to slam down. And just overall, I really like just the little details that Matador puts in these bags, and also the fact that all the materials are sustainable. I think that's a great shout, and from a company that we really respect here at Pack Hacker. So there you have it, the Matador GlobeRider35. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.